Do you get nervous before or during tennis matches? And does that nervousness take away from your performance? Does it make you play worse? If so, this lesson is exactly for you. This is something that I've been dealing with recently. Over the last couple weeks, I've actually played 3 tennis matches. 2 of them haven't been public yet. You don't know who I've played or what the outcome is. And I have a 4th match coming up very soon that you probably do know who the opponent is. And throughout all of these different situations and different opponents and different scenarios, I've dealt with a lot of nervousness. So I wanted to share today the 5 things that help me when I get nervous and help give me perspective and help me navigate through those feelings that can a lot of times be super difficult. So let's dive right into it. And first and foremost, it's critical to understand that being nervous doesn't mean that you're broken, or there's anything wrong with you, or that you're doing it wrong, or that you're a bad competitor, or you're not a good tennis player, or anything else. Here's a couple quotes. I kind of collect quotes like this. See if you can figure out who this is. Today before the final, I was really nervous, like never before. I was shaking in the locker. When we started 5 minutes before the match talking, last few things with Magnus, this player's coach, I started to cry. I was completely shaken. This is a quote from a press conference from Stan Wawrinka's 2016 U.S. Open. This is him talking about his experience before the final against Novak Djokovic. And Stan went on to win this match and win a Grand Slam after having this kind of reaction or response. Okay, player number 2. I do get nervous, and I'm happy that I do for the big occasions because it means that I care. It's not like going through the motions, like being careless. That would be a horrible feeling. So this tennis player saying, yes, I do get nervous, and in fact, if I wasn't nervous, if I didn't get nervous, that would really bother me. That would be a bad thing. This player, Roger Federer, said this in a press conference. And just one more really quickly. Every time I go out for a first match, I get so nervous. I still get the butterflies. Even if I have a match point, sometimes I get nervous and I have to say, Serena, calm down. You can do this. Just relax. Obviously, Serena Williams on this one. So, have you experienced these things? Guess what? All of your favorite tennis professionals, the elite players that you see on TV that are holding up trophies and collecting huge checks, they feel these things too. They don't accomplish incredible things because there's some kind of like machine, like tennis robot that never has fear, that never has anxiety, that never feels nervousness. They feel all those things just like we do. What makes great competitors great is that they're able to perform and do incredible things in the presence of that fear, not because they have an absence of fear. So this is like thing number 1. This isn't even like my top 5 things, but I had to start there. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken if you feel nervousness. It's completely normal, and it's a good thing, as Federer points out. So for me personally, here are the 5 things. This is kind of my thought process and the way that I process nervousness. Number 1, am I really nervous or am I excited? And this is just kind of like a little bit of mental jujitsu. Feeling nervous and feeling excited are very, very close to the same sensation. And I think it's important because I think we tend to think that if I'm nervous, that's a bad thing. Oh no, like I'm getting ready to choke. Like it means I'm not ready for the match. It means I haven't prepared, or so on and so forth, yada, yada. When we say to ourselves, oh no, I'm nervous, it has a very negative connotation. But feeling excited, even though it's basically the same like biological sensation, it has a very positive connotation to it. I'm super pumped for my upcoming match, against Ben. That match is coming up very soon. Now I could be saying to myself leading up to that match, oh, I feel so nervous. Or I could be saying to myself, man, I'm so pumped to have this opportunity to be able to play Ben. I know, just kind of like a little like detail, but if you spend some time thinking about it, the implications are super, super important because it kind of kicks off which path you're going to go down mentally. If you tell yourself you're nervous and being nervous is bad, then that sends a whole domino chain into action about, oh man, that means that like I'm not ready to play. It means I'm going to play poorly. It means I'm going to be tight and tentative. It means I'm going to choke. If I'm excited, then we can go down this path. If I'm excited, then it means that this is a fantastic opportunity. You cannot grow or develop or improve in anything in life without meeting some kind of challenge or obstacle along the way. And the matches that I've had recently have all been really significant challenges. And I knew headed into those matches that they were going to be big challenges. And as a result, I was excited for each of them because I know that this is a huge chance for me to test myself. This is a huge chance to find out, what am I doing well? What am I doing poorly? It's a huge chance to shed light on areas of my game that maybe I wasn't aware that I need to work on. It's a huge chance to have the opportunity to prove that the work I've been doing has been paying off. There's so many different things that coming up against those obstacles give you the opportunity to be able to discover or confirm, right? Discovery and confirmation. You can't do that without going out and putting yourself in the arena and battling and fighting and finding out what comes out on the other end. So this is the second thing that I tell myself. When I feel that feeling, I remind myself that I'm excited for this match. And then number two, if I'm excited, it means that it's important to me. And it's important to me because this means that I have the opportunity to come away with a huge amount of valuable information, either confirming or revealing what I need to be working on, confirming what I'm doing well, and revealing what I need to do a better job at. That's a huge opportunity. And so that leads us right into number three, gratitude for that opportunity. Anytime I get ready to do anything, whether it's making videos or getting ready for a match or maybe something like in my relationship, my marriage, or like a big step, like something I'm helping guide my kids through. When I work through this kind of process of like excitement, opportunity, I have so much gratitude to have the opportunity to be able to do this. A lot of people are never in the position to be able to experience these things. And so I think having an outlook of like being very thankful for that opportunity is such a 180 from how most people experience these kind of pressure situations. But if this can be your reality in the middle of a tough match, how much better do you think you're going to be able to perform than if you go down that other path of, oh no, I'm nervous? So that's number three. Number four is I focus my attention on what I can control. There's so many things that are outside of our control as tennis players. Our opponent, their game style, the environment around us, the court, the spectators, whether our opponent has a good day or a bad day, whether you have a good day or a bad day. You can't control that 100% either, like your timing, your rhythm, your judgment of the ball, the weather, if you're playing outside, you don't control any of that stuff. Your opponent's line calls, your opponent's like idiosyncrasies, how they grunt, their personality. We could make a list of literally 1,000 things that are completely outside of our control that have influence over how the match goes. These are the only three things we actually control. Our preparation, we control. Your training, your nutrition, your sleep, your hydration, how you spend your practice time, how you develop your skills. Your preparation, you control. Your opponent doesn't have any say over that. What you focus on. Am I going to focus on the things I control, or am I going to focus on things outside of my control? I have a choice. It might not be an easy choice. Like it might be very tempting to focus on other things that I don't control, but I have the choice what I focus on. That's in my control. And finally, my effort. And you could say like intensity, whatever you want to call this, how hard you work, how hard you push yourself, running for every ball. You control that as well. And I think there's a lot of comfort for me in knowing, A, these are the only things I control, and B, in the moment, any given moment during a match, before the match or during the match or after the match, if I know that I've done a good job with these three things, then I can be satisfied and I can be happy regardless of the outcome. Because guess what? Ultimately, I don't really control whether I win or lose either. It's not up to me, at least not completely. Sure, obviously, I have influence over the outcome, but I don't control it. A huge part of it is up to my opponent too, and I can't control them or what they do. So if I can do a good job with these three things, then I know that I can finish the match and I might not be happy about the outcome, but at least I can know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I did a good job controlling the controllables. I did a good job of executing on these three things to the best of my ability. And that, for me, helps a lot in taking away some of the unnecessary, like nervous or anxious, kind of experience. So that's number 4. And then number 5, for me personally, when you go through the first 4 things really, really quickly, am I nervous or excited? I think I'm excited. Number 2. If I'm excited, then that means that this is an opportunity. That's what I'm excited for. This is a great opportunity. This is a great chance for me to challenge myself. If I have an opportunity, then I'm really thankful for that. I'm full of gratitude to have that opportunity. And then 4th, in the moment, am I doing a good job of the 3 things I control? My preparation, my focus, my effort. And if I do a good job of all 3 of those things, then I can finish the match no matter what the outcome is and be satisfied that I did a good job. And so if I do all 4 of those things, then for me personally, all that's left to do is just kind of enjoy the ride. Because ultimately, I don't know how it's going to end up. Every time I walk out onto this court with all the cameras around and other coaches talking to the microphones about me and about what I'm doing on the court, maybe our members are watching live on the full court camera. They can see whether I'm failing or whether I'm succeeding. I can honestly, truthfully enjoy all of it if I do a good job of those first 4 things. If I do a poor job of those first 4 things, there's no enjoyment. It's just panic, right? It's holy crap. All of a sudden you get wrapped up in the feelings, you get wrapped up in the emotions, you get wrapped up in your judgments of what that means about you as a competitor, and there's no enjoyment. It's just survival, right? It's you're a wild animal that's just trying to fend off bigger, badder wild animals, and you're just in an emergency state of mind. But I can tell you, based on just my recent experiences on this court playing matches, it's possible to be nervous and enjoy the process and enjoy the experience. And that's what I want for you, and that's why I made this video. It's a really special thing. You might not be in my position where there's cameras all around and it's getting posted to the internet and people are watching it. But please do me a favor and remind yourself that when you go out onto a tennis court and you have put in the work, you've put in the preparation, you've worked hard on your game, you're playing an opponent who's going to give you a significant amount of challenge, you're feeling those feelings of excitement or nervousness, that's a really special thing that you get to experience that. Please remind yourself of that. You're in a privileged position to be able to have the time and the energy and the resources to be able to invest in your tennis game in the first place, and then be able to go out and test yourself and see how well you're doing, see how good of a job you're doing. And then, based on where you fall short, be able to go back to the practice court and rinse and repeat and focus on what you need to continue to develop. That's an incredible opportunity. So many people, so many humans never get to experience that. And so enjoy that moment. Enjoy that process. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Was this helpful? Does it make sense? Does it shed some light on your mindset and your process and how you're going to approach your next match? Or do you focus on things totally different and you have a completely different mindset? Like maybe you found something completely different that works really well for you. I hope that's the case. And if so, leave a comment down below because lots of other tennis players are going to be watching this video and reading the comments. So it'd be awesome to get a whole bunch of different feedback down below because it'll help the tennis community. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If this is helpful, do me a favor, click the like button. And I'll hang around for a little bit and answer some questions if any of you have any questions. So yeah, obviously the match I'm talking about, the match that I am nervous about, I'm super excited about, is the match against Ben. And I'll just right off the bat kind of get it out of the way. A lot of people have asked if we're going to live stream it. And the answer is no, we're not going to live stream it. And that's because we have weeks and weeks of training and other matches and preparation leading up to Ben being here in town. And if everybody knows the outcome, he's playing 4 matches. If everybody knows the outcome of all the matches ahead of time, then it kind of ruins the story. It ruins the anticipation and all of the lead up until when he gets here that none of you have seen yet. You haven't seen the preparation and the training and the matches and everything that's kind of leading up to it. So we talked about live streaming it, but in the end we decided not to because it would just kind of short circuit all of the videos that are coming out in the coming weeks that kind of led up to him being here. So that's why we're not going to live stream it. Hey Mike Trice. Good to see you in the chat. String recommendation for Pure Strike? Nope. Whatever string you like. Some people like really soft string. Some people like really stiff string. I don't know what you like, so you've got to try different stuff. Do you visualize MEP strokes? So it's funny. Yesterday I did a training session, and eventually you'll see this, where me and the person I was training with, we took turns being MEP. And it was an approach game where the person on the baseline would feed short, and then the person on the baseline could only slice or lob. Couldn't hit topspin, couldn't drive. And so the person coming up to the net had to practice receiving slices and lobs and practicing putting the ball away. So in a certain sense, yeah, I kind of do like visualize MEP's like strokes. I've watched him play a lot, so I'm really familiar with his game. I'm really familiar with his playing style. And it was kind of funny yesterday, kind of trying to copy his style and be successful with it while somebody else was coming forward and pressuring. Do you think you could do a video Walmart racket versus a $200 racket? Calvin, that was a video topic I had on my list for a while, and it just kind of fell off the list. Maybe in the future I'll do that. And did you ever felt not enjoying the game? So, man, yeah, Aspire Forever, yes. In college, I did the opposite of what I talked about today. This was almost 20 years, yeah, coming up on 20 years ago. Instead of viewing my feelings through the lens of like, oh, I'm excited, this is great, this is an amazing opportunity, I'm so grateful to be able to challenge myself, I viewed it through the lens of I'm nervous, and then judging myself for being nervous. I was very much a perfectionist kind of personality. I still am, but I've kind of learned that about myself. I didn't really realize how much of a perfectionist I was back then. So I would get nervous. I would have an expectation of like wanting to play perfect. I mean, really pretty close to like literally. And when that, of course, didn't happen, I would get angry. And then those feelings would cause me to play worse, which caused me to be more angry, which caused me to play worse. And it was just like a terrible negative cycle. So over the last 20 years, I've done a lot of just learning and research and experimentation on myself and with my students. And so that's kind of where this whole kind of frame of mind or mindset comes from. I was in a terrible place mentally at the end of my college career, and it's completely different now. My last match that I played was significantly challenging mentally, and it was significantly challenging physically. I mean, it was about as challenging of a match as I could have played, and you're going to see this match in the near future. And I wasn't happy the whole match, but in hindsight, looking back, I feel very confident that I did the best I could with what I had in the moment. I stayed level-headed. That doesn't mean I didn't get angry, didn't get frustrated. I did get frustrated, but then I very quickly was able to come right back to being clear-headed and like, okay, now what do I need to do? What shifts do I need to make? What should my focus be? Where should my energy be? Instead of going down that negative, kind of dark like spiral. Let's see, more questions. Hey, Spire, you're welcome. I'm really happy that videos here are helping. How we win a match when you're down, and that's match point. Oh man, I mean, hopefully you heard my presentation. Like, you don't control everything. Like, it would be great to be able to be like, oh, just hit cross court and then hit down the line on match point, and you'll be good. Like, you'll never lose your match point. But it's not that simple. How do you improve a score even to win match? Yeah, I mean, listen, every match is like a puzzle that needs to be solved, and there's like an input and there's an output. There's like the shots that you try and the skills that you bring to the table, and then there's the way that your opponent receives those shots, and that's like the output. Like, you send this and then you receive back that, and you have to be like a detective. Okay, so when I send this, I like the response. When I send that, I don't like the response. And so every tennis match is like a detective story of what are the things that are working, what are the things that are not working. So when you're down match points, like this is possibly your last point of the match, what you need to be doing is reminding yourself what is the number one, the plan A, that throughout the last hour or hour and a half or 2 hours, this is the money pattern that has worked more than any other pattern. You go to that like that is your plan. You do not scroll down the list to plan number E or F or G and like try to smash a shot that's worked 1 out of 10 times over the last 2 hours. No, you go to the bread and butter, like what is the money play that as a percentage has worked the best over the last hour and a half, and that's what you play. It's going to be different for every opponent, every situation. Simulation, MVP strokes, perfect preparation. I'm trying not to pay much attention to how people are calling the match. Like, I know Tennis Troll put a poll out there yesterday. It's great. A lot of people think I'm going to win. That's cool. And a lot of people think I'm not going to win too. I'm trying hard not to really focus much on that at all, to be totally honest. And to 100%, like, being completely truthful with you right now, Ben could win. Like, he has the ability to figure out how to beat me. I think it would be a huge mistake for me to go into that match assuming I'm going to be victorious. Because what happens when you're like down a break in the first set? It's like all of a sudden your mind is like, wait. Like, what's going on? This is not supposed to be happening. Like, I'm not supposed to be losing. I'm not supposed to be down in this match. I think being confident and assuming you're going to win are two completely different things. If you don't respect your opponent, then that can always come back and bite you in the butt later on. And I very much respect Ben's play. I very much respect his he's very good at what he does. Anybody who thinks he's a bad tennis player or not a real tennis player or anything like that is completely deluding themselves. Ben is very, very good at what he does. So I am not at all like expecting a win. What I am expecting is that I do a fantastic job of these three things. That's it. That's my goal against Ben. I've been working hard on preparation for months now. I know where my focus needs to be, and I'm going to give 100% effort on every single point. And I'm going to do my best on all three of those things. And so we'll see what the outcome is. Best snack for long tennis meets. I have. I think like trail mix, kind of like that's my personal favorite. You don't want to go like super heavy on carbs, so like chips or sugar, any kind of sugar, or like bread. Like that's going to give you a lot of quick energy, but then you're going to crash. You're going to fall off a cliff. So protein and fat, really important just to maintain a good level kind of base of energy. So I like kind of snack mix, type stuff like nuts and raisins and maybe a little bit of like chocolate, like dark chocolate in there. That's my favorite. So 4 Big Macs are a bad idea. That would be a bad idea. Fettuccine Alfredo, there you go. So yeah, got some carbs in there, you got a lot of fat, got a little bit of protein, and plus it's delicious, Steve. I remember that hollandaise you made at my house in Maryland. That's what fettuccine Alfredo reminds me of when you say that. Chick-fil-A, yeah, like I mean, if you're gonna do Chick-fil-A, I mean it's not the best. Like probably chicken, like not the fried, but like the chicken nuggets that are like not the breaded ones, but what do they call it? They call it baked, I think. Without the crap and the deep fried, like yeah, if you just get like chicken nuggets, maybe a couple of fries, but not a ton, like that would probably be pretty good. But yeah, don't go super heavy on carbs, especially like sugar, because you're gonna crash energy wise. Yeah, grilled. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, grilled chicken nuggets. That's the way to go. Watching him first play after his ankle injury was so exciting. Seeing him away from the commentary play. Hey, thanks, Cam. I appreciate it. Tell you that won a local tournament. You helped me. Nice, awesome. Marina, congrats. Marina Anthony, congrats on the win. That's huge. Taco Bell. Playing every day, should I allow myself recovery time? Yes, yeah, Adam. And Adam, it depends on how old you are too. Like, I'm getting ready to turn 40 here pretty soon. And so sleep for me has been huge. It's been a total game changer. Personally, like, so I'll tell you what I'm like. Last week I played a match that was very hard physically. It was over a 2-hour match, and I hit an hour before the match on that same day. And it took me about 4 days to fully bounce back. I hit 2 days later, but kind of like, man, it was kind of like half energy. And it wasn't until yesterday that I really bounced back fully. So Saturday, I slept as long as possible. Sunday, I slept as long as possible. Went to bed early, slept as long as possible. I think I slept 10 hours on Sunday night. Yesterday, felt pretty good. Hit for about an hour and a half yesterday, and then slept as long as possible again last night. Today is going to be my last training session before I play Ben. And then I'm giving myself a couple days of cushion between my last training session and the actual match. And then again, I'm going to sleep as much as possible for the coming couple of days. And maybe I'll like hit a couple balls, but I'm not going to train. I'm not going to push myself. So I would recommend give yourself like a 2 or 3 day window of just do like stretching. If you do yoga, if you do stretching, that's great. Like do that on your off days. Like maybe take a walk. Like stay active, but just don't like really push yourself. Let your body bounce back. Don't do anything high intensity. If you're doing high intensity and pushing yourself really hard 7 days a week, yeah, you're not allowing your body the time to recover enough that you can actually play your best. So you have to give yourself space and time to recover for sure. Matt, how often do I practice? Yeah, so on average, The last couple months, I would say I'm hitting balls about 3 times a week, 3 to 4. And then when I'm not hitting balls, I'm doing some combination of stationary bike, HIIT workout, high intensity interval training, and like yoga, stretching, some combination of those on days when I'm, and so I would say 5 to 6 days a week I'm working, I'm like really pushing myself, and then taking a full off, like full recovery day, 1 to 2 days a week has been my my pattern recently. Yeah, Calvin, merch. Right below this video on YouTube, you should see a list of like t-shirt and stuff. I think it has to be on the mobile app though, YouTube mobile app. There's a link to some merch, so check that out. Let's see, lower back. Yeah, lower backs, I actually, for 2 weeks or so, I've had almost no symptoms. I'm keeping up with that physical therapy. Towards the end of yesterday's training session, I felt a little bit of pinch, like a little bit of discomfort back there, and I quick texted my therapist and I set up an appointment for tomorrow morning. So I'm going to see my guy tomorrow morning, and that'll give me a little bit of cushion between when I actually play Ben. But I'm not concerned about it for the match. It's been pretty solid. What type of string to use? I use Solinco Confidential currently, full poly, and around 150 pounds, around 50, like between 50 and 53 pounds, like in that range. Yeah, I had bad neck issues. So listen, and it always happened in my sleep. Like I went through a several month period where I was literally wearing one of those like car accident like donuts around my neck when I was sleeping, or else every morning I would wake up and it would just be like clenched up again, like seized up. It was terrible. So in the last month or so, I've replaced my mattress and I've replaced my pillow, and it's made a massive difference. My back and my neck, it's much better. So I was sleeping on like a 10-year-old mattress, and I just didn't think about it. And when I switched mattresses, it helped me a lot. And I've been working on my posture in general as well. So posture work, mattress, pillow, and my neck has mostly been a non-issue for several months now. So I'm happy about that. What do you wish you knew when you first started playing? I wish I knew this. Honestly, if I could, just one thing. I talked a little bit before about like the perfectionist, kind of side of me. I thought I could control everything. Like 100%. Like I thought if there's a problem in my match, I can fix it. I can solve it, no matter what it is. I can come up with a solution. And so instead of focusing on these things, I was focused on trying to make everything perfect, and that drove me insane. And so if I could like know like one thing early in my tennis career, it would definitely be that. Yeah, RJ, I have a Theragun, like whatever the most expensive Theragun is. Shout out to blanking on his name right now. Somebody sent me a really nice, like the best Theragun you can buy. It's incredible. Yeah, I've been using it on my shoulder recently. I use it on my traps and on my neck. Really helpful for me too. All right, just a couple more questions here, everybody, and I'm going to sign off here shortly. Let's see. What would you recommend for being solid from the baseline, but also be aggressive? I mean, the answer is topspin. Like if you want to hit aggressively and be super consistent, the answer is topspin. You cannot hit a flat, drivey ball aggressively over and over and over again without making mistakes. Your margin for error is just tiny. So you have to learn how to curve the ball. You have to learn how to shape the ball. If you can't do that, then you can't be aggressive and consistent at the same time from the baseline. We just published a video on this like two days ago. Sorry, it's gonna get noisy in here. We just published a video on our YouTube channel. I was hoping I could pull it up here. I'm blanking on the name of it right now. It was like, oh, why your forehand fails you in matches. And it was on exactly this topic. So make sure you check out that video because it'll give you some step-by-step drills on how to work on that. So here's our YouTube channel. I think this is the video that just went out yesterday. Yeah, why your forehand fails during matches. So this talks specifically about that kind of shaping issue. So make sure to check that out. Frag, I don't review like full matches sent to me, but I do review point play for students inside of our academy program. If you go to essentialtennisacademy.com, I do frequent video analysis sessions, at least once per week. I do analysis sessions for students there. So that's the only place I really do it. What would you say is a good ratio for practice sessions to actual matches? Yeah, Wesley, it depends on what kind of phase you're in your training. If, let's say you have a tournament that you're eyeing on your calendar that's out like 2-3 months, then I would start with mostly training for the first month or so. And then in month 2, like the middle month, start to make it maybe 50-50, like training sessions and matches. And the 2 to 3 weeks leading up to the big event or the tournament, then I would play mostly matches, like mostly competitive play. That's how I would look at it. So it depends. If you're like in a current season where you're playing a lot of like you're playing a match that really counts every week, then you should be mostly playing matches to make sure you're in peak form for that activity. Feeding and playing a baseline game to 10 is a completely different thing than serve, return, and trying to problem solve points off of serve and return. So it just depends on what phase of your calendar you're in. All right, one more question and then I'll sign off. How important was the Topher match for you? I'm not sure how to answer that. Like in one sense, like very important because it was my first match back. It showed me, like on the positive end of things, it showed me how much my preparation's been paying off. On the other hand, not important at all because, in the grand scheme of things, it's just a match. It wasn't some kind of super pivotal, like critical match. So I learned a lot of very valuable, positive lessons that I took away. Honestly, like in the grand scheme of things, it's not very important because I won so easily. Like no disrespect to Topher at all. Like he just had an off day. I had a great day. It was one of those things. Like everything just lined up for me, and so you don't learn a lot from that experience. The match I had last week that lasted over 2 hours, I took away a lot from that match, mentally, physically, tactically. Stroke, like it uncovered a lot of things. So like to be totally honest, like the struggle match that I had last week is way more important for me as a player in terms of development than my match against Topher. No disrespect to Topher at all. Like it is what it is. But that's the way I look at it. All right, I gotta sign off, guys. Sorry, we're getting ready for a training session here. Thank you for hanging out today. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Hopefully today's lesson was helpful, and we'll be publishing another one tomorrow. By the way, we're doing 6 videos a week now. We're on a Monday through Friday, and then another video on Sunday schedule. So we're not uploading Saturday, but we're posting a live video 6 days a week. So I hope you guys appreciate that. Thanks for your support. I'll be back with more updates really soon. Thank you. Catch you guys later.